crack the elite's pyramid code and expose the 200 fallen angels they serve. Watch this.
$50 billion is how much money we spent building a pyramid and a city on the other side of the planet. It's called Astana, Kazakhstan. And the pyramid that we built is in the middle of it, right in the heart of the city. It houses 200 delegates, and ironically, there are 200 fallen angels. But if you click inside that building, you can go to the boardroom, which has a round table where all 200 delegates get to meet. And if you disagree with them, there's a hole right there in the middle of the table, and you can see all the way down to the floor of reconciliation. And I guess that's the hole of peace. And that's next on the trumpet. The United States were some of the first people to even invest their money there. This is just one of many buildings they built. Circular 200-seat chamber for world religion meetings. Chapter 3 of the Book of Enoch, Fallen Angels, tells you all about the 200 angels that descended onto Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is where that happened. And if you go to the Book of Enoch, you can see that those 20 names that it mentioned right underneath that verse, they were leaders of tens. So there were 200 people that descended right here on top of Mount Hermon. And the United Nations decided this is right where we need to build a base on the 33rd degree parallel.
They all have blue roofs. Go look through the whole city. It's right there in Google Maps.
These people right here. And he will gather the nations. And no, I'm not talking about the Pope. Look at that logo right there.
There's like castles.
That's quite simply the 33rd degree.
It's pretty,
that logo shows the Earth divided by 8 sections. And each section is divided by 4 other sections. 8 times 4 is 32. And the center section makes the 33rd. There's a lot of people on that same page. Now you're going to start seeing that 33 show up everywhere. Like in the buttons on his cloak. They represent the years of Jesus' life. The 33rd degree is where Jesus transfigured in front of the disciples. The 33rd degree is where the Masons built the Tower of Babel out of bricks. And yes, if you work with bricks or stones, you are considered a Mason. Charleston, South Carolina, home of the Masons. I love that these guys think that they are the oldest fraternity of men. You're not the oldest fraternity of men that swore an oath. That was the fallen angels. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. That book is in the Library of Congress. And this book is right on my shelf for all of us to read. And in the Sermon on the Mount, these are Jesus' words right here. Verse 33, in case you weren't paying attention. Again ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, Thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. The men of old time are spoken of right here in Genesis chapter 6 under the wickedness of the world. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Jesus goes on in the book of Matthew and says, But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne. Swearing in on the Bible now has a whole new meaning for me. And when they take the oath of office, well, this ought to be great. These are all Jesus' words in red, right there.
He cracked the elite.
You understand me? I'm the vice president.
We are space traders bearing exquisite gifts that will restore your nation to its former
So you gotta look into all these movies, you gotta look at all the symbols
and
in
precious
here.
metals.
It's always telling you something that's gonna happen in the future.
Machines that will
But you never
renew
know
your
until it
rivers
actually
and your air.
happens, and then you go back and
Cold
watch a
fusion
movie.
technology
Oh shit.
for a safe, cheap, and
They have this
inexhaustible
movie.
source of energy. All we ask in return
I like how
is
this hologram
delivery
shows the
to our
back
vessels.
on the back of the
5
hologram and the
days
front
from
and the
now,
front.
every child, woman, and man in your nation with at least 2,500 milligrams of melanin in their skin per square centimeter.
What the hell is melanin?
Put more simply, in trade for solving all your most pressing domestic catastrophes, we are asking for every person in in your country that you would classify as black.
You understand me?
This wasn't a movie. I think this was like a short episode of a TV
This
show.
same magnetic field is much more potent if it operates on an aluminium sheet instead of on the mercury. The reason for this is that aluminium is about 40 times more conducting than mercury. Of course, I could make it more potent still if I could put some steel behind the aluminium to improve the magnetic circuit. But instead of this, I'm going to change the shape
This is
of
the
the
way
motor.
you're supposed to
Let's
travel.
make a machine that looks
City
like
long
that.
distances.
We
Just a
should
quick
find
flip.
that the windings are very
No
simple,
heat, no sound, no
being
feel,
only
no
a row of
exhaustion, no
coils like
emissions,
this.
just straight.
The moving part is a steel rod with a copper sleeve around it. We put it in the end of the tube and fire. Well, that wasn't a bad shot, was it? This electromagnetic gun seems to have taken us right back to the start with our rifle. It looks as if we can make an electromagnetic model of nearly anything. Now
So this country in Antarctica,
What about it?
how long has it been there?
What about it?
Why doesn't anybody know about this?
It's
Nodia
Jakarta.
Garthia is at least 10,000 years old. Look, when we first encountered the continent, they were already there, right? There's really no definitive way to measure how long they've existed, but look, obviously the highest ranking
It's not really an
intelligence
ice wall.
authorities are well aware of this place,
It's like
okay?
that moon map.
And the restrictive Antarctic treaties are the reason nobody else is. Look, the Agarthians, they don't want us in. They live within a city built on inconceivably complex architecture. Okay, pyramid-based energy systems that are reminiscent of ancient Egypt. Look, things we don't understand. We do believe that they have trade routes which lead through and beyond the ice wall, okay, connecting them to civilizations far out into the depths of the unknown lands, right? They are the bridge to a world which we have been closed off from, okay? They control the entire goddamn parameter of the ice wall. We've been studying them for decades to the best of our abilities, but it wasn't enough, and so, well, the CIA did the unthinkable, right? They captured a native.
This hotel right here is 500 yen per night. With
Go back to this one.
So this country in Antarctica,
What about it?
how long has it been there?
The ice wall. We've been studying them for decades to the best of our abilities, but it wasn't enough, and
What did it
so,
say?
well, the CIA did the unthinkable, right? They captured a native Agarthian.
So this country,
this hotel right here is 500 yen per night. With the current exchange rate, that's just over $3 American. But I just had a
That's so
conversation with
cheap.
the owner who actually encouraged me not to stay here. He very
Yeah,
kindly
so,
and reasonably
yeah,
explained that
it's Japan.
while listed as a hotel on Google, it's not intended to be a hotel for travelers or regular people, but rather kind of a specialty place for those without money to stay, and went so far as to recommend the cheapest
like
actual
homeless.
hotel in the area, which is this place, Hotel Diamond, is 1,100 yen per night, which is still just over $7 American. So let's give it a
$7.
try.
That's not bad. $7.
So apparently the elevator only stops every 2 floors, so I've got to go to the 5th floor and then walk up to the 6th. They also seem to have 300 yen a day Wi-Fi rentals.
So for $11, you get a room and Wi-Fi.
Just need to find the stairs.
That's so cheap if you want to go and travel. You just need to stay for a
And
couple
this
days.
should be my room. Oh wow.
It's a closet.
Okay.
I guess it's basic
so
enough.
this
I guess for
will
$11,
officially
you know,
take the cake for the smallest
it makes
room
sense now.
I've ever spent the night in. I should be having it has a lock and key. Apparently the 500 yen hotel had none of that, so if you take a bath or go to the washroom, you have to take all of your stuff with you. Also, claustrophobics beware. I'm about to close the door and give the official room tour. I placed my sneakers in the garbage bin for now. They recommend not leaving them outside. they might get stolen. And this is
It's bigger than a capsule hotel.
It comes with
you get those
a sponge
capsules
mattress, which is
that are all decked out with
pretty
Wi-Fi and
soft,
everything.
some
And
bedding,
it's still
a
cheap. You pay like
blanket,
$40.
and a pillow filled
But this
with
is cheaper
either
than that, and
barley
you get more
or
room.
something.
You can actually stand
have
up,
a fan
walk
here,
around.
a little desk here, and a window that doesn't lock but opens out right to the main street. There's a single
That's
plug
pretty
for the
good.
whole room,
Nice view.
which has a multi-plug adapter that has a cord that runs all the way down to the other side of the
got
room
one
where it
outlet
is plugged
that does
into yet
everything.
another multi-plug adapter. Makes me wonder if they ever have power outages, but this actually isn't that much smaller than my first ever room in Japan. Even the desk setup is the same. The first place I stayed in was maybe double this, and I lived in that for a year. The window has zero insulation, so
Yeah,
you
you
hear
probably stay in
everything
this for
outside.
$300
I'm
bucks for the
curious
month.
about the restroom situation. Looking at Google Maps, though, there are a ton of restaurants, convenience stores, and everything in the area. For 1,000 yen, I have stayed in a lot worse places and paid a lot more. I had a hotel in Naples, Italy once that literally had a hole in the wall. It was amazing.
Like literally
It's
a
window
hole
without the
in the
glass. Looking at it, it seems like there are
Stupid.
quite a few rooms in here as well. There's a bit of a sink area over here, and if I'm not mistaken, this should be the toilet. Okay, modern toilet with a washlet. This one too? Both of them. I was fully expecting traditional Japanese style hole in the floor type toilet.
Yeah.
Ceiling height is a little low, but this
you
planet
just
literally
squat on
just
the floor and
nitpicking.
take a shit. It's so
On the
weird.
first floor, there are also shower rooms, and they're actually really nice. And right outside the shower space, there's a whole row of vending machines. But I noticed something kind of funny about my room. Aside from the ultra modern and super safe wiring they have just nailed to a wooden board here, I've also just noticed that anybody can control my light from the outside of the room. Not to mention the mystery box. This mystery box right here. This lock seems to have purpose, but what's this guy doing? This hotel right here is 500.
Nearly 800 of America's top military leaders were summoned from around the globe, apolitical officers who remained silent as their commander-in-chief took the stage and offered this greeting.
You can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank, there goes your future.
That set the tone for more awkward
That's gotta be
moments to
awkward,
come,
yeah,
including the president's suggestion that dangerous U.S. cities like those where National Guard are currently deployed should be used
You
as
spend your
training
whole life
grounds for
becoming a
U.S.
top-ranked
troops.
general.
This is
You
going to
can
be a
quit
major
now.
part
It's
for
like,
some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within.
Illinois Democratic Senator Tammy Duckworth, an Iraq War veteran, said Trump's proposal is illegal
and unconstitutional. You cannot deploy our military onto the streets of our cities.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth opened the meeting and ripped into diversity initiatives put in place by previous administrations.
No more identity
It's
months,
just about control.
DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions.
That includes, he said, a return to the highest male physical fitness standards.
I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape, or in combat unit with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men.
And he took aim at the highest ranking officers.
It's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon and leading commands around the country and the world. It's a bad look.
Vermont Democrat Peter Welch
This is
said
just
the
what they
meeting
want to show
was
you.
unnecessary
I'm pretty
and
sure the
a
meeting
bad
was
idea.
about
It's a further
things.
effort to politicize the
More
military. It's very, very alarming.
stuff.
There is no reason to bring all of these people at enormous taxpayer expense to Washington to get a pep talk.
Hegseth told the audience they could disagree with him, but
The words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
Charlie, we did not hear any reaction from the generals and the
Do
admirals in the
honorable
room.
thing.
Take
Quit
us
your
through why
job.
that's the case.
Lose out on all your money.
Well, Maurice, it's part of the decorum of protocol for officers not to applaud or cheer during political events or even some rallies. But while there were a few smiles, a bit of laughter here and there to some of the things that President Trump was saying, some polite applause, for the most part, the room was silent through roughly 2 hours of speeches.
Charlie, the Secretary Hegseth is reviewing the military handling of hazing, bullying, harassment. Explain what that's about.
It's got to be so boring.
Yeah, so this is an overhaul, and if you'll pardon me for reading. So
Secretary
Hegseth, there should be an
email.
overhaul of department policy defining the conduct by service members, and that includes hazing, bullying, harassment. They say it's clearly broad and promising to dismiss the records of tough leaders with past infractions.
That's how I know the
Charlie Daggett at the
They're
Pentagon.
going to spend all that money.
Nearly 800 of America's top military leaders were summoned from around the globe. Apolitical officers who remained silent as their commander-in-chief took the stage and offered this greeting.
You can leave the room.
So all this time, the moon is a reflection of the earth. Oh, we got your ass.
Oh, you got that.
Got your ass. Now, so let me see if I got this straight. The
He's
dark
got
patches
it
on the moon
right there.
are the same shape as the landmass of Earth. And if you put them both together,
And if you want to know where this map came from, it was the map they were using in Germany in World War II.
it's a perfect
And
match of Earth. What incarnations
that's
are going
just
on?
what we know.
How would this
We don't
possibly
use it.
be? So the dome
We don't even talk about
is
it.
causing a reflection.
But that's where it came from.
So this is the true shape of Earth. And if you want, you can pause it, spin it around, have a look. That's the way it's meant to look. And that's what it looks like.
I've already spun it around and I've taken a look.
It's a mad thing.
It's
That's the moon.
It fits.
And that's the flat Earth map. Oh, you son of a bitch. So all this time,
There's just like extra continents out there.
is a reflection.
More land than we have.
China's
There are-
policy is very clear. China will not fire the first shot, but China will not allow you to fire the second shot. China will never allow the United States to launch a war against China, conventional or
I don't think
nuclear, without
they're ready for
suffering
war.
devastating
They're doing pretty good
consequences.
just being China though.
If you have not watched the Victory Day parade in Beijing on September the 3rd, one of the weapons China demonstrated, we call it 61 because it can contain 60 nuclear warheads plus one hydrogen bomb. Now, in the world of today, let me tell you, which country has
laser
hydrogen
beams
bomb?
connected to AI.
China is the only country with hydrogen.
And I don't think
And that
that would
ICBM
matter.
can cover
If you're
every
gonna try
corner
to
of the world
Fight with bombs, you've already
in less
lost the
than
war.
20 minutes and destroy
Bombs,
any
guns,
target
tanks, that's
in
all
any
old
corner of the
technology.
world without any
This is
possibility
like something that would have
of
been good
being
like World War
intercepted.
II.
I hope Washington has learned the lesson.
This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. You know how you're
We
all
got like
saying
time travel and
UFOs
shit.
don't
What are you fucking
exist,
talking
they're
about
not real,
bombs for?
aliens aren't real, none of this is fucking real. It's a fucking psyop because aliens don't exist. Well, the government has passed along a new handbook for all the police in the United States to abide and follow. Look, police across the United States given new UFO handbook as they warn
They were given
craft
to the
pose
police
a
and fire
significant
department
threat.
and other sources as well. So,
Really?
I've seen
Now
this
you're
one.
deciding that these things are threatening? I can't go any further with this.
It's the same thing when they made
UFOs
that
are real.
handbook years ago about zombies
Obviously, the government
and
is
zombie
confirming
outbreak
it.
and what to do for
To the
all
point
that.
where they're passing out handbooks
Yeah,
on how to
where are
fucking
the
deal with them.
zombies? Where are the aliens? Where are they at?
I'll see myself out.
Keep
This
playing
is
games.
unbelievable.
Did you know that the CIA have their own quantum healing codes? Do you want me to show you where to get them?
Yeah, I know
Go
that.
to Google and type in Gateway Intermediate Workbook. And you'll see here, this should come up. Click on this.
That's pretty good information though.
And you've got this
You
Monroe
can look into
Institute
it.
of Applied Sciences. Scroll down and you'll find they've got a quantum healing code for pain. And here it is, to reduce pain signals. Look with your eyes closed at the part of your body which is the source of pain signals. As you look, repeat in your mind the number 55515. When you do these two things, the pain signals will slowly reduce until they are no longer important. Obviously, this is the tip of the iceberg, because to get the most benefit, you probably have to do the whole gateway experience, which I haven't done, but I do know the power of codes, and I've created many codes myself. For example, if you want to heal an aspect of your body, repeat in your mind